Dreadlabs.
Well, hello guys, welcome to the second stream already from Dreadlabs. Today we're gonna do some graphic design, making an album cover from scratch, and yeah, that's it actually. So let me just set everything up and then we'll get to it. Alright, so I didn't really have a clear planning on what I wanted to make. The last time we did this, I actually wanted to redesign a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I'll pull it up real quick. But yeah, this time we're gonna basically wing it. I'm not sure if we're gonna end. I'm not sure how long the stream will be, but I will record this and you can watch this back on YouTube if you don't have time right now, or if you just wanted to watch it at 2x speed or whatever. So yeah, let me see. Right, so this is the card that we made in Illustrator, Photoshop, and Cinema 4D. I think it's over a month ago that we did it. We did the first one, but yeah, ever since then we kind of grew a bit as Dreadlabs. The channel became bigger on YouTube. Yeah, we got a Discord now with over 100 members, and yeah, I'm quite happy with it actually. Anyway. We're gonna start out doing this grid. So what I do always when I start a project in Illustrator is I put on Snap to Grid and I put on and I turn off Snap to Pixel, because these two tend to clash a lot, yeah, in my experience. And for an album artwork with a gritty feel, I just always start like one square away from the edge, so there's still a bit of headroom, and that we can use this like measurements. I think it's 100 pixels by 100 pixels, yeah. And we can use this as an we can use this to indicate like the space we wanted to have between different kind of elements within this grid, basically. So if you want to set this up, you go to Illustrator, Preferences, and then Guides and Grid. And then I just add grid line every 100 pixels and subdivisions 10. I'm not sure if this actually works. I'm not sure if this is the default settings or not, but yeah, these are the settings that I work with. So yeah, I'll just draw out a square. And just let me type in the coordinates. All right. So we have this so far. Let me just pick a song on what I wanted to do a artwork of, because that's easier than just doing something out of nowhere. So I'm gonna pull up one of the Dreadlabs playlists on my phone right now. Let's see. Oh, you know what? My friends from Psycho Boys Club, they actually have a techno pack coming up. I'm not allowed to speak about anything yet, but maybe let's just do a fan art for them, just for fun. So we have something to work with. Okay, so in Illustrator I'm basically gonna lock this outside layer, and most of the time I just start with picking a font. Let's see. So to make things easier for myself, I usually go with one of these LDR fonts. I think they are from the same designer. I found them on the font a while ago. I believe it's Short Dads who sent me the first link. So yeah, I discovered this through him. You should check him out on Instagram. That's Short Dads. But I'm gonna filter now on my typekit, basically my Adobe fonts. So I have a smaller selection of fonts that I can start using. Well, we can actually start with Bebas Neue. Alright, so a more condensed font actually works better, even just because Psycho Boys Club is such a long word, and it's hard to have the artist name and break it up, because well, this is not going to work really well, and this is not going to work really well either, in my opinion. So what I usually do to make these things fit in a grid are I'm actually immediately gonna create outlines for them, just so we can start aligning things properly within our grid. And if I wanted to change the font later, I'm just gonna redo it. Anyway, let's see whatever we can do. So the last cover I did for them was actually like a rave sticker. We can try and keep within that like same theme, but I actually also have a cool idea that I want to work out in 3D like later in the video. So for now, I'm just gonna use this. I have no idea. Okay, so let's see how big we want this. If you guys have any questions for me or what I do, just put them in the comment section on Twitch, and I'll try to read it every once in a while so I can answer your questions. So yeah, okay, we have this right now. I'm gonna go to Object, Compound Path, and Make, just so this isn't the group anymore. It's just easier to work with because we're gonna use a Pathfinder filter on it, basically. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off my snap to grid for a second, and because of my smart guides, I'm gonna align and make a rectangle that's the same height as the letter B here, and I'm gonna put this rectangle over my whole text. I'm gonna go into properties, make sure my anchor points at the reference point is at the middle top here, and I'm gonna make sure that my uniform scaling option is turned off, so the actual height of my letter and this rectangle here is this. I'm just gonna type /2, which will divide it by 2. So now I have like half. This rectangle is now at the top half of my text. I'm gonna resize it a bit, and if we do this right now, we're gonna copy both of them actually, and we do it by Command C, Command F, and this means that we now have duplicates going on. So what I want to do for the first one is I'm gonna just punch off the top half of the text here, and for the other one I'm gonna do it the other way around. So gonna move this here. I'm gonna punch it off. Wait, that doesn't. Oh shit. So I fucked up a bit, but if I move this down right now, it should be fine. Still not fine. To Just gonna do this. Alright, so now we have the top half and the bottom half. I can already kind of see what I'm trying to do here. Maybe I want this to be distorted in one way or another. So we can work with this for now. I'm gonna group this, and I'm gonna go and turn my snap to grid on again. Make a rectangle in here. Make sure it's only like a stroke, and now we're gonna properly align this group within this like bar. To fill this up a bit, I got a I also had a challenge for myself, and what I wanted to do was make a cover artwork with like all Dreadlabs products that we have on the web shop so far. And the first one that I'm going to bring up is, as you might have guessed, Dread shapes. Alright, so this is a vector pack. We can just copy some shapes from here and use them in our artwork. And let's see if we can find one that we haven't used so far in any video tutorial. And I am pretty sure that we haven't used this one. So I'm just going to copy this and bring it into my other file here. Turn it into black. All like the coloring and everything, I always just do it in Photoshop afterwards, because coloring in Illustrator and then correcting that color in Photoshop when you use textures and whatever, it just takes a while and it's unnecessary time, I think, at least in my work process, that is. Right, let's do some shapes on the spot as well. Might do a cool star. If we bring up the star tool, if I hold this and then go and press my upper arrow, I'm just gonna add more like points in here. And then if I let go my arrows, still hold my mouse by the way, and then holding command or control, bringing this out a bit, and then I'm gonna scale it down a bit. Let's just rotate this so the bounding box is still straight. Okay. Then another cool way to make some custom shapes in Illustrator is I'm gonna bring up my star tool again. This time do a little bit of a different one. And I'm just gonna select the inner points in here with my direct selection tool. Get the rotate tool, rotate these just a little bit. Oh, need to deselect my square here. And now I'm gonna go into this list here and select my twirl tool. And this might be a tool that you haven't used before, but before I'm going to use this, I'm going to add one small anchor point in the middle here. So the swirl tool, I'll show you what it does in a minute. I'm going to turn off my snap to grid, and once I brush like over this selection here with my twirl tool, you'll see what happens. I can distort the crap out of this, basically. So what I want to do is, you might have guessed, I'm gonna do grab this star shape and see what we can do with the twirl tool. And to make sure that we actually are working from the perfect like middle point here, this is why I put the anchor point down there, so we can snap to this anchor point. So now I'm just gonna hold Option and Shift, so we can resize this tool. accordingly and see what happens. Okay. So the twirl tool works quite intense. So if we double click on the tool and then use the intensity or the twirl rate, and we lower this to 10, you can see that it's kind of starting to rotate a bit slower. And once we resize this another time, so we have the full like shape in here, and now we're going to double click and go into -10 degrees. So now it will rotate the other way around. Yeah, this kind of defeats like this twirly thing that we had going on. So I might just resize my brush. See, yeah. Okay, let's just leave it at there. Let's just do another one, just so I can show you a bit on how to do some dope graphics in Illustrator, because we kind of rushed over Illustrator in the last live stream, I feel like, and I feel like I don't do enough Illustrator tutorials, and there were quite some people asking me about how I do my grids and whatever. So for now we're just gonna make a quick tribal shape. This is also gonna be in a separate tutorial very soon. So I got two like ellipses here. Let's see. If we can make something out of this. So what you want is like I kind of see this overlap in here, and you want this shape here, like the thing that's not overlapping on this side. You want it to be like you want the shape here to start decreasing in width. So this part here needs to be smaller than this part here, basically, which I think that makes like a proper tribal shape. Like this a bit. So what we can do now is we're gonna go and grab our shape builder tool, and we're gonna hold Alt or Option and delete these parts here. So now we have this, and obviously we're not done yet, but now we can grab this circle here and basically do the same thing with this circle here, and grab the shape builder tool again. And once we select both of these shapes, we have this shape going on. So once we make this into a fill, kind of see that there's like kind of some tribal stuff going on in here. What I like to do is maybe like take a like a half a round chunk out of this part here. And here as well. And maybe even here. I'm gonna quickly turn on an extra light in here because it's getting kind of dark. Anyway. So now you have this shape. We're gonna merge these like paths together, and I'm gonna rotate this just a little bit. So what we can do now is I'm gonna go to View. Oh no, we don't have to go to View, but okay, we're gonna grab the Rotate tool by pressing R on the keyboard. And now we can see this anchor. Make sure that's not the center, but actually the anchor. So we're gonna align this shape later. We're gonna hold Alt or Option and click. And we want 8 different kinds of 8 different kinds of parts in here. So we're gonna type 360 divided by 8, and then click on Copy. and for some reason this doesn't. Right. So now if we press Command D 7 more times, you can kind of see as you can get this kind of weird shape going on, this tribal shape. But now that I can see this, I don't like this, like how chunky this part is in here. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go press Command Z until we're back here. Grab this like extra nail or finger or whatever. And let's see, I'm gonna make this part a bit, I'm gonna take a chunk out of here as well. And then I'm gonna get this intersection and make a circle in here. And I'm gonna duplicate this circle, punch it out of here, and punch it out of here. So this looks a bit more like a tribal shape maybe. So now we're gonna unite these and do the same thing in here. So we're gonna grab this anchor point with our rotate tool, hold Option and click 45 degrees, copy, and for some reason it doesn't work the first time. What's this problem that I'm having? Oh, never mind. Okay, now we see this is kind of clashing, so I don't want that. So what I might do is we're gonna go and divide it by 6, so we have a little bit less like shapes in here, and there's a bit more room between them basically. So like this. Now we're gonna unite these. Oh, without the square in here. And I think we're gonna punch out a circle in the middle. Like here, but before we do that, I actually want to punch this out properly as well. So I'm gonna grab just let me make it wide so we can see what we're actually trying to punch out in here. So I'm gonna yeah, okay. Yeah, this looks better. And then I'm gonna resize this a bit. Alright, so I'm gonna punch these out one by one. And then yeah, we're gonna grab a larger black circle, we're gonna unite them, and then we're gonna punch out the smaller circle, so we have this. And now we have basically within the first 20 minutes we have this so far. I'm gonna resize this just a little bit. And I might, yeah, I'm gonna punch this one out of the actual shape. So I'm gonna duplicate this square, make it into a fill, make sure that the bottom square isn't selected, and we're gonna punch out the bottom shape, which is like the star, which leaves us with this. And we're gonna do the same thing for this one right here. So we're gonna make this into a compound path. And excuse me. We're gonna do the same here. So let's just give this a fill first. And punch out the bottom layer here. Like this. Okay, so now we have this so far, and I am gonna fill this one up here with like a longer shape or whatever. So let's just make sure that this is actually properly aligned. And we'll see what we can do in there. I'm thinking like a sound wave bar or something along those lines, basically. And so what I actually wanted to do, because I wanted to spice things up, is once the grid is finished, I want to make like the actual image like in Photoshop, obviously, but I want like the main image hole to be an actual hole, and we're gonna make a 3D album cover. And within the 3D album cover, I want to make this like 3D environment with a 3D render in it, so we can have a artwork that's actually moving. But like, it's really hard to explain. I'll just try and do it as I go. Anyway, let's see what we can do in here. Oh, actually, I have a quick way to do a barcode, which some people have been asking me about as well. There's this font, code 128, and if I just type out Dreadlabs, it gives you a barcode immediately, basically. So we're going to create the outlines, and we're going to put them at the bottom here. Feel like we should be doing, just gonna snap my grid in here at first, and then okay, this will be like the side banner thing, basically. Oops. All right, so this can be at the bottom there. Gonna resize it so it just matches up. It won't be a real barcode anyway, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so let's see what we can put in here. Sup, Psycho Boys? I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm actually doing a cover artwork for you guys just for fun. Anyway, let's see if we can grab a whatever. I have this old like file that I when I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with Dreadlabs, I just made some like cool vector shapes in there. I'm just gonna pull it up and see if I can get an inspiration from it from there. Where is it? It's this one, and yeah, it's these ones. And I already saw like this eye that I'm really digging. So let's see what we have going on here. So the actual eye and a rectangle, which I'm gonna remove. Alright, so we have this eye. And here in the properties tab, I'm just gonna make sure it's actually properly aligned. So it should be just 2100, and this should be just 100. And I'm gonna scale it so the width will match properly, which should be 800. And then I'm going to align it just a little bit more to the center here. And now I'm gonna resize the clipping mask. I don't really like how that's looking, so I'm just going to use this one in the sidebar in here. Okay, we should maybe do a divider of 2 blocks like so. We can change the dividers later. And let's see, if we make this 150, I'm just gonna morph it a bit while resizing so it just fits better in the grid. And then right, and then we're gonna add another divider in here. So these will probably be starting like these stars that you can see all over the place, basically. We can maybe do the track title in here, now that I'm thinking of it. I have a font that I really like that I wanted to use. Yeah, this is this one. Wait, let me see. Yeah, we're gonna use it like this. But what I actually wanted to do is I want to morph the text. I'm not sure if everyone knows how this strategy that I'm gonna show you in a bit works, because I don't use it. I don't see it getting used quite often, basically. So I actually use this in an actual Psycho Boys Club cover artwork for DJ Soda and Psycho Boys Club. Just gonna distort it so it matches with the full length of this. And now I'm gonna go to Object, Envelope, Distort, Make with Mesh. And if we click on Preview, you can see an actual mesh in here. With your direct selection tool, you can grab these points in here, and you can basically distort the text however you like. I'm just going to show you what I mean. So if I grab the top three in here and I'm going to drag them right, you can see that the text is already distorting crazy, like crazy. So if I am going to my envelope distort, and I'm gonna actually make the mesh a bit different. So clicking on preview, and this should be enough, I think. So 1, 2, 3. And these ones as well. And as you can see, this is a nice way to distort it without having the outer edges go out of the bounding box, basically. Alright, so this is what we have so far. Let's work on this for a bit and then do a proper edge. Yeah, we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna drag this into Photoshop. So I'm gonna make a square in here that we can use for the main artwork or object, basically. I want to leave a space between this. I want to leave the space like this. So, whoops. Okay, so without our final rectangle grid thingy, we have this right now with a. And this is what I was talking about in the first few seconds of the live stream. We have this, and we can use this as a space outside of the block. So there will always be a space of one grid, fully grid square thingy in between these. And then for the vertical things within these boxes, we can use a distance of 2 blocks, basically. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to make this like really common divider shape that a lot of people use. I'm not sure where it came from, but so you make these 4 circles, and then you make a square on top of it, and then you're gonna grab your shape builder tool and hold Alt or Option while you pick away all of these, and you'll left behind with this little star. And I'm gonna turn off. Wait, I have my grid turned on already. So what I want to do is I want to divide these basically. So I'm gonna select these. I have a rectangle on like the 50% of this shape here, and I'm gonna click these. I don't know what it's called, the Pathfinder divide, and we're gonna delete this. And now these 2 shapes are separate. So I'm gonna ungroup them, and now we can make a actual like pattern with them. So we can remove this for now. Put this one in here, this one in here, and holding Alt or Option, we can drag these around. And actually, if we press Command D, we're going to repeat the action that we just did. So like this. And now that I see it, like the actual size doesn't add up. So we're going to select all of these and drag them in. And now we have this cool little divider that we basically just made under 1 minute. We're going to grab this, group this, and place it here as well. Okay, so we have a lot of like room to do like some cool stuff in here. So what I also tend to do sometimes is getting into these dread shapes and just pick one of these shapes. For example, this. Wait, let's just pick this one because it's easier to explain what I mean. So I have the shape here. I'm gonna make it black, and let's say you cannot only use these as like putting them in the grid like we did with this shape. We can also yeah, just grab this part basically. So what I wanted to do is make an ellipse and make it white so we can see what we're doing actually, and place it behind like the part that we want to cut out. I'm going to use the same method as we did with the divider shapes just now. And now we have, yeah, we can cut this part off now. So we're going to select both shapes, click on the divide button, double click so we can enter the group, delete the excess shape that we don't need, and now we have this. Well, and we also have some shapes that are don't have a fill or anything, so we're just gonna delete these, and now we have this. And I wanted to see if we can do some cool graphics with them along the lines here. What if we let's see. Okay, I just rotated this, but if I wanted to like make this shape a bit more like if I wanted to reduce the width of the shape, I couldn't be able to because this. So I'm just gonna go to Object, and not sure where it actually is again. I'm looking for the reset bounding box option, but I'm not sure where it is. Wait, is it under? Ah, it's under transform. My bad. Sorry that took so long. So yeah, now I can actually resize this properly, so we can use it as a, so we can just make it fit our like grid a bit better. So I'm gonna align this. Make sure like the outline is a key object here. All right. So let's see. What if we outline this? Sometimes I don't really like the outlining function in Illustrator, just because, like, for example, these are maybe not perfectly done. So what I tend to do is click on, well, I have a shortcut Command 5, but it's actually offset path, and just reduce this. So we have like this, for example, and we're gonna punch it out like so. If that would be looking cool, but I don't really like this, so. I think it's, yeah. What if we just repeat it and rotate it? I don't really like that as well. Let's just leave it as it is, and then we can just put another divider in here. I don't want to waste like the whole stream modifying this one shape or whatever. So I think I'm gonna reduce the size of this one as well, so we can divide these evenly, because otherwise it will clash with like the upper bar in here. And this grid I actually want to keep the outlines from, and yeah, I don't know, I feel it would be taking too much space if like a shape in here would clash with this text here. So I could also reduce the size of this text a bit, like this. And now I kind of want to resize this to the same height, because I feel like these are better aligned. Like so. Yeah. Right. And yeah, I don't really like this shape, so I'm gonna do something differently. I'm gonna cut this part off. So we only have this part left, and then we can just reduce the size. I'm just experimenting here, guys. Like I said in the beginning of the stream, I just wanted to wing this one because I didn't really have a plan, and I still wanted to do a live stream, so it might be hard to come up with some certain things up on the spot. But yeah, you know, that's how life goes, actually. Sometimes you just have to make something up in terms of like design work, at least. I had some clients where I just really liked the work, or really liked the clients, but yeah, I didn't really know what to do with them. And if you just force yourself, something will come out of it. And I've had cases where like the feedback that I got was like, oh shit, they're right, you know. And then once I realized the things that I could do with like the shitty proposal that I sent to my client, I realized like, oh, I could do this like in a whole different way, which resulted in like better designs in the second proposal round, if that makes sense. I'm just rambling on a bit, but So I just want to see if we can do something like this. Let's see. What happens if we like resize this so weirdly that it extends all over the place? Could be cool. Maybe like this. Like it better this way actually. Let's see if we can have some other elements. Oh shit, my Instagram's not updating. Or my Illustrator's not updating. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to crash, or I'm gonna have to restart Illustrator for a second. Sorry. I don't know if this is just a bug that I've been experiencing or not, but it's really annoying. And I've experienced it in Photoshop and in Illustrator. So, sorry for the inconvenience. Anyway, like how I wanted to do like the artwork thing was like, let's say this is the. I'm gonna show you my ID real quick until Illustrator is loaded up. But okay, let's say that this is the like artwork, right? Then we have a smaller like square in here. Let's just say that this is, I don't know, 75 by 75. Wait, it's a little bit bigger. Okay, let's say this is our actual like 3D subject. So what I wanted to do is, if you have like the artwork like this, right? And the square is something right here. I wanted to make like the illusion that you can like see 3D through like the window in here, if that makes sense. Hey man, so I'm currently working on a custom artwork that I am trying to do a like 3D render inside of. Quite experimental, and I'm not sure if it's gonna work. But yeah, we're gonna see where we end up. Anyway, okay. So where were we? All right. Let's just see if we can find like some old stuff in my like spam graphics vector file. It's right here. This was made in 2018, I think, so some stuff might be a bit outdated. I actually like this a lot. This matches well with what's it called? The anime eye a bit. So what if we turn this around like this? So what I'm actually making is a cover artwork for an upcoming EP slash album slash single. I'm not sure how they're gonna release it, for my friends from Psycho Boys Club. I've heard some of it and it's really cool. So I'm really excited to see that released. Okay, so we have this mechanical arm, and I might want to, yeah, I'm gonna scale this down just a little bit so we can have some room for something up here. Also, so the like arm here will be a bit more visible, I guess, in like the sides and stuff. I'm actually gonna make a square here. I'm gonna resize this one to up until that square. So we can have a like proper graphic up in there, because I don't want to spend too much time on like actual Illustrator. So this arm, I didn't really, this is just an image traced thing, and I think I just found like an image of a mechanical arm drawing. So yeah, that's kind of on me for not crediting the original artist of this. But yeah, like I said, this file is from like 2 years ago now, so I don't really recall where I found this. But what I usually do is I have some drawings, and once I finish these drawings, I just put them in Illustrator, and if I wanted to use them in an artwork real quick, I just scan them in, or and then go to the, what's it called, the image tracer option in Illustrator. For example, I'm doing a free work thing of a drawing that I did this morning. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, so if you can see in the webcam, it's not really finished yet, but like that, what I would just put that in Illustrator, click on image trace real quick, and then we could use this in inside the grid of an artwork, basically. Alright, so I'm gonna resize this down just a little bit. We can have this on the center here. And okay, so one last icon or thing. Actually, really like how this came out. Looks like a metal typing. It's just what are they called? Effects in effects in Illustrator, basically. So we can use the gas mask. Okay, so I'm either leaning to gas mask or like the nuclear reactor thing, or this one. This one might be cool, actually. So this shape's also quite easy to make. I'll show you how to do it real quick. So what you want to do is you're gonna go here and you're clicking on the polar grid tool, and I'm holding shift to, so I'm having a perfect circle, and with my arrow to the right and my arrow up, I can add like the lines here. So let's say, okay, I have something like this now, and if I wanted to make this into like this 3D wormhole thing, I'm gonna go to Object, Envelope, Distort, and Make with Mesh, and this is gonna make a mesh that we can use to distort. So if you pick the center part here with a direct selection tool, you can actually bring it in like this. I kind of already see like the distortion happening, basically. Yeah, the best way to do this is just pick this one and then like move it wherever. But yeah, as you can see, it kind of looks odd if you do it like this. So I try to make it as subtle as possible. And then sorry. And then once you're finished, you can just go to Object and then Expand. And now you have a fill. Or yeah, now you have a fill. And a shape. Sorry if you guys can hear the rain outside. It's quite there's quite a heavy storms going on in the Netherlands right now. Yesterday we had a flood here in my house, which was kind of crazy. I had to use buckets under my roof, and like the whole like at my desk at some cables there was like water coming from under from the walls. I guess it was crazy. Anyway, okay, so now we have some random stuff going on. Okay, so if I would see this and if this would be a client work of mine, what I would do is I would try and work with these tribal shapes a bit better, because I don't really think they are fitting inside the rest of the artwork here. But I'm almost 1 hour in right now, and I actually want to take this into Photoshop and show you what I mean with my idea in Cinema 4D. So for the sake of this live stream not being like 5 hours or whatever, I'm just gonna go with this, what I have so far. Hope that's okay. So now we're gonna prepare this to go into Photoshop, basically. And what I do by this is I'm gonna grab these lines. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna go to select same stroke color, so all of my like black outlines here are selected, and I'm gonna go and make the stroke 5 points, so it's a bit more thicker, basically. So yeah, I said it in the live stream a bit earlier, I think. I wanted to do more Illustrator and Cinema 4D videos, but I don't think I'm experienced enough in Cinema 4D yet to actually do Illustrator, or do some proper tutorials on them. So I might just do videos like basics in Cinema 4D for graphic designers, like show you how to import like your logo or whatever. But yeah, Illustrator tutorials, I should be diving into that soon. I actually have another video planned, which is a completely different software, Spark AR, and I wanted to show you guys how you can make an Instagram filter with Photoshop and this free software, which is cool. But yeah, for now, okay, we're gonna save this. For the sake of this being the tutorial, I'm just gonna leave it like as it is, and we're gonna go to Photoshop, where I already have an empty document selected. Gonna make the foreground black, and we're just gonna bring this into Photoshop now. So let's see. All right. So I'm just gonna give this a color overlay so we can actually see what we're working with. All right. So what I wanted to do is let's see. What I wanted to do was leave this whole section empty. So let's see. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this rectangle, open a new file, the same size, press Command F. So okay, this will be the shape that we're not gonna use in our artwork. So I'm just gonna save this up as cutaway shape. And once I'm gonna work in Cinema 4D, I hope it starts to make sense what I'm actually doing here. But yeah, let me just bring it in. Click in media box so it's automatically placed at the right spot, basically. wait, I should do that if I'm actually at full screen, so I'm gonna drag it in again, media box. And I dragged in the wrong file, sorry. Okay, so if I'm gonna give this one a red overlay, this is the part that we're not gonna use, so I'm gonna select this, take it out of the background, make this one invisible, so we can work with yeah, whatever we're gonna do here. So what I wanted to do is so I recently posted a small Instagram carousel on how to do Photoshop actions, and one of these Photoshop actions that I like to do when I'm working for clients is this one. So in just one click we achieve this effect, and I'm gonna do it for the sake of this being a video. I'm gonna show you how to do it real quick, but if you're interested in seeing how this works, you can go to Instagram, to our Instagram, and we'll show you how to set it up. It's not really hard, basically. But we're gonna go to Filter Clouds, Filter Liquify, distort this a bit so we have a random marble-ish liquid like pattern. Like so. I'm gonna size it up a bit so the edges won't be visible. Then I'm gonna blur it a bit. And go to, yeah, let's just give it a twirl. Like so. And clip it onto our work file here. And then I'm gonna go and apply a gradient map also into a clipping mask. And for now we're just gonna keep this simple. Okay, so we have our neon green in here, and I feel like we should also get another fluorescent color. See what we can achieve with this. Oh, what if we make this a deep purple, like a dark? And if we bring these in a bit more. Hey Dixie man, what's up? No, you're not too late. I'm 1 hour in. I feel like I'm gonna do another hour and a half maybe. So I don't know where you got the notification wrong. If it was Twitch, I'm not sure how Twitch worked. I'm completely new to that, so yeah, I might have fucked up with something like that on there. I'm sorry. If you wanted to be on the actual schedule, you can see on I think I accurately set the time on Instagram, but I'm not sure. Okay, so we have this right now, but I feel like this could be a bit darker, so I'm gonna also add a black in there. So yeah, so while adding this black, you can just see a bit more dimension in there. I don't know what would happen if we add this color in. Actually see it somewhere. Alright, so I feel like this is so far so good. I'm gonna turn these into a smart object so I can edit the colors later, but I wanted to apply some filters on them, so I'm gonna go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. So if we can, I don't want any details in there because it's still a background, you know. So new layer, clip it on, and we're gonna do a quick vignette. So I'm gonna make this into a radial gradient and then reverse it so the edges will be dark. I'm gonna scale it up a bit so it's actually starting to darken up, so you can actually make out what this is saying. And I want this to be reflective as well, like we did in the last tutorial, which I'm gonna do in Cinema 4D. Or I might want it to glow, but I'm gonna do that in Cinema 4D, like I said. So we're gonna remove the background for now, and this one as well. Okay, so this will be on our like actual artwork basically. So I'm gonna just save this up as artwork background or whatever. Gonna open up Cinema 4D. Just gonna delete this. Alright, so I'm gonna grab this cube. Wait, no, I'm just gonna grab a yeah, I'll grab a cube, whatever. Just make this 1 centimeters wide, so we still have a little bit of dimension in there. Going to create new material. Turn off reflectance, and as the texture we're going to load in our Photoshop file. I'm not sure if we can actually do that or not. I think so. Yeah. Alright, so okay, now that this is here, I just want to go and grab a cube that's a bit thicker. If we view it from the side, I just want it to go through, like, yeah, okay, so this is going through there. Now I'm gonna go into Illustrator and see like the coordinates for this. So it's 2400 pixels by 2500, and I want this cube to be 3000 by 3000. And this one then to be 2400 by 2500. Right. So now we're gonna just align this so it's properly aligned with like the texture. There's probably like an easier way to do this, but like I said, I'm kind of new to Cinema 4D in that way. So I'm gonna drag in a bool object. I'm gonna drag these guys in there, and if I put this one, I'll just put this, name this one artwork, cut out. So now we actually like cut out that hole in our artwork. So for now I'm gonna also make this texture into a full texture basically. So what I wanted to do right now is we're gonna go grab another cube, and let's see, it should be 2400 by 2500, and let's see what the coordinates are. 190 by minus 160. Yeah, alright. So now we're gonna make sure in our side view that this cube is placed right behind my artwork, like this. And I want to make it a little bit deeper actually. So let's just make it 1000, 2000. And then we're gonna go and drag this like into the back of our artwork basically. And now we're gonna just edit this one and take out the front like polygon here. As you can see right now, I'll just go and grab a camera. And if we just group this and let's just make this 120 frames. Put it on the 30 frame mark, then we just make this, let it rotate so it will be okay, kinda lost here, wait. Alright, so if we rotate it here like this, and then here to 0 again, and then we're gonna make it just 89 frames. As you can see, we have the artwork and that's actually like moving now. I actually don't really like the wiggle, but I'm gonna change it up later. So I wanted the cutout to be just a bit bigger, so we take out like this. We take like this bite out of the actual artwork, basically. So I just want to size this up just a little bit. And I'm gonna add another texture with like the full background of Photoshop in here. And if we put this into the cube, we now have like this 3D we now have this 3D artwork basically. So I'm gonna add a iridescent sky object that I have, so we can light the place up just a little bit. And I'm not too sure on why this is actually acting a bit weird. So just gonna reset my camera for a sec. Gonna get out of the camera. So yeah, we now have this artwork basically. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to go into Illustrator and I'm going to go and grab my grid. And my grid right now, okay, I'm going to make a copy of it. And we name it the grid C4D. So I'm going to grab all my strokes. So I'm selecting one of my strokes and I'm just going to go to select same and then stroke color or stroke weight, basically anything. And then I'm going to go to object, path, outline stroke. So all of my objects have a fill right now. So if I save this as a Illustrator file, but before I actually go and click here, I'm going to go into this window and I'm going to click Illustrator 8. 8. I'm sorry. So yeah, now we have this Illustrator file. It's basically the same as our grid, but it's an Illustrator 8 file. And you might be wondering, what do I do with an Illustrator 8 file? Well, an Illustrator 8 file you can drag into Cinema 4D and it will recognize it as like splines. So this is an Illustrator file and I'm dragging it right here. And as you can see, this insanely large file is my Illustrator file. So I'm going to select all of these splines in here and I go to Extrude and hold Alt or Option while doing it. And it might take a while because it's super slow. Yeah, as you can see, ooh, that's not good. So let's see what's going on here. Okay, I think I know what the problem is. I think it doesn't recognize the clipping masks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my clipping mask. And delete these things manually. So if you're not too sure on what's happening, these files are in clipping masks, which means like there's a rectangle around them, which allows this to only be shown within that rectangle, and that's this rectangle. So if I remove this, I need to like actually cut off some parts of this myself, if that makes sense here. So I'm removing this part on the top here. So yeah, and this one's as well in the clipping mask as well, as you can see here. So I'm gonna double click, and if I double click multiple times, you can actually see that this is the full image. And I'm gonna make this into I'm gonna select all of it and make it into compound path, so I can actually punch out like parts of the shape in here. Yeah, this is kind of an inconvenience to our little project, but it doesn't matter. So by the way, if you guys have any suggestions for tutorials or other work in the future, just let me know, because I am taking note of all of the ideas that you guys have for Dreadlabs, video wise, content wise, and I want to do something with it. So yeah. Alright, so there's still like a clipping mask or something here. I'm not sure where, or at least like okay, so I'm gonna select something with a black fill, and I'm gonna go to select same fill color. So all of my shapes and everything is now selected. Alright. So same thing. I'm gonna go to select same fill color. And this is another problem, I think. I need to expand this as well. And we still don't have everything. Damn. So select fill color. There should be some stuff that's not selected right now. I don't know what this is. Yes, okay, finally. So we're gonna save it again. Replace it. Make sure it's saved as an Illustrator 8 file. Gonna go back into Cinema 4D. Gonna delete or close this for now. Reopen it. Alright. So yeah, I feel like this is a lot quicker than the last one. I'm sorry for my voice, by the way, guys. Okay, yeah, there's some sketchy stuff going on in here. Alright, I'm gonna go and select all of these. See what happens if we punch them all together. Delete like unseen, like invisible objects. Gonna go make it into one big compound path, and then I'm gonna save it again. See if this solves the issue. And for some reason I'm not paying enough attention to this, or is the screen not popping up? Alright, okay, so we're gonna try this one more time. If not, we're gonna go and try to make some cool Photoshop art with it. No problem. Okay. Let's see. If we zoom in, okay, yeah, there shouldn't be any like duplicate lines or whatever. So let's just hope that this will work. Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna get all these extrudes, and I'm gonna go and make this 5 centimeters. I'm gonna go copy and add this to our project here. And for some reason, if you export this your Illustrator files into Cinema 4D, it always misplaces them. So you just go into coordinates and press 0, 0. And now that I see this, I'm not sure why this isn't centered. Let's just go into this view and see what's happening. Aha. All right. So it seems that we made our like box the other way around. So it should be like this. Okay, so let's see. Now, once we rotate this, make sure it will pop out of the text in here. Alright, and now we're gonna go load in a Chrome texture. And we're gonna go add a compositing tag to our sky, make it invisible for our camera. And now we're gonna see, okay, will this work? Alright, so it's visible. Now I want to do, yeah, I'm gonna grab a skull, like a 3D render of a skull. I'll find most of my 3D models on TurboSquid. Some like more common things are like skulls are free, so that's really nice to work with if you're not really like into 3D modeling. So my computer is starting to get kind of laggy. I'm sorry for that. Right, so that's way too big. So let's see. If we place this one in here, alright, so another 3D model that I made myself is a 3D chain. So I thought it might be cool if we get these chains and put them in this like box in here, so we have like a moving cover artwork, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see if I can find it, because it was in a Psycho Boys Club project. Alright. So we have this like chain in here, and I'm not sure on the material yet, so we're just gonna keep it like this for now. And we're gonna rotate it like this, maybe scale it up just a bit, and I want to let it come through like the box, but I don't want it to be visible from the camera. Oh wait, the camera's still in the wrong place. So I'm gonna add the camera right here. Just gonna move it manually for now. And alright, so I'm gonna create a material and I want this. Where are my pop-up screens? I think it's something to do with my dual monitor or something, but yeah. Oh right, no, my bad. Anyway, I wanted to do a glow basically, so let's just do the inner strength like this. Okay, so let's make the color like a neon green. And put it into our grid. So in our render, I'm gonna add a glow. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, that's way too much. Alright, this could be cool. What if we put this to the chain? And then leave the thing in like holographic stuff. I know what I want to do. I'm gonna make a new material. I'm gonna give it like this neon green color as well. And on the reflectance, I'm gonna add a reflection legacy, but I'm gonna go and reduce the reflection strength. So we have this like reflective neon green thing going on. Let's see what this looks like on the text. Yeah, I need to reduce the glow. Thanks guys. Sorry, I'm not really paying a lot of attention to the chat right now. It's my fault. Yeah, I'm just this live streaming thing is kind of new to me. Anyway, okay, so it's starting to look kind of dope. I just want to remove the background texture of the cube, and I think I want to make it reflective or whatever. Let's see how that works out. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna make it reflective but black. So gonna add a reflection legacy. Just gonna reduce the reflection strength, make this black. Like I said, this is all very experimental, and I'm kind of new to Cinema 4D, so I'm not an expert on this whatsoever. So this is all like trial and error for me as well. Yeah, I kind of like where this is going. I do, however, see that the live stream grid should be, or like this whole cube thing basically needs to be going up a little bit and then to the side, and then the cutout needs to be a bit smaller, just like, yeah, just make it true to the size. So yeah, okay, only the Y position needs to be changed a bit. So guys in the chat, I'm actually wondering, do you guys discover me on YouTube or Instagram, or are you from Discord, or how did you find the live stream, or how did you find Dreadlabs? Yeah, I'm eager to know. Okay, so I'm gonna go and add another chain. Gonna rotate this. So let's see. Gonna go and scale this down a bit. don't want it to clash with the skull. Is it clashing? Oh no, it's not. All right. So okay, I'm gonna make the skull a bit light, and then I'm gonna make the chains reflective. Let's see what that looks like. I feel like I should change the color of this luminance around. I don't know if this looks good or not. Well, it looks a bit more fitting to the whole situation, I guess. I don't know about this box. It's just too... Oh yeah, shit. Did you... So you discovered me, like, my personal design account. It's crazy, man. Like, then you have been following me for quite a long time, because I've worked for Wrong Family and Yellowclaw for like I started working for them like 2 years ago. So yeah, there's been like, it's crazy. It doesn't even feel like that long ago. But yeah, it's really cool that you find me through my like my personal work. Yeah, I'm not too keen on this. Okay, I just want to see if we can do something with this background here. Like, what if we like I only take the back panel here, and I would just put the graffiti in there, like this. All right. Then turn off the reflectance, because I just want it to be... yeah, that looks better. All right. Oh, we can actually do a mirror background, maybe. Yeah. But I think it's the problem is that we like, I'm not sure. I think it might fuck with your vision with the whole like chains, because I wanted to make them like move like later in the video. But I actually want to up this reflection strength now from the sides here, so that these are like kind of a mirror, mirroring them, as you can see right here. Yeah, this looks cool. Okay. So now I just wanted to add a plane. Where is it? Right. And I want this to be the same size as a cutout, so 24.5, 25.5. And then the same position as the cutout as well, so 190 minus 160. And that's not true. Oh wait. Okay, I believe... I just completely fucked up my file. What's happening? Dude, what the Did this turn around at some point? Yeah. Alright, dude. I'm just gonna go and delete all of these animations for now because yeah, this will be on YouTube later, so you can watch it back. The problem is I don't really know how to record on Twitch, so if anyone would be able to help me with that, please join us on Discord and private message me, because, like I said, I'm completely new to Twitch, basically. I used to do some streams when I was a music producer, but yeah, that's been like 4 or 5 years ago, and I only had like an overlay and made some music, so I don't know anything about like the Streamlabs stuff. It's all new to me. Gonna reduce the glow on our object for our skull. I'm actually wanting to dive into like doing a stream on YouTube and Twitch simultaneously, but that needs like a third-party plugin. So I might just go and yeah, I need to find out and take a day on how that works. But I haven't really had a lot of time lately because I had a lot of freelance work basically. But believe me, I will be there I'll be doing it once I have the time. Yeah, I command C it way too much, I feel like. Alright, so now that we have this, we can actually start making an artwork out of it. So what I wanted to do with the whole plane thing, let me just bring it in here. I wanted to make like this plexiglass like overlay on top of it, so it looks like the chains and the skull are like in a box, like they're sealed in. I'm gonna delete these as well, because these have been screwing with me. Alright. So now I'm just gonna go and yeah, it's kind of like I don't know. It feels like something that will happen in the zeros, like, you know, like you will buy like I don't know, like a Yu-Gi-Oh or a Pokemon toy or whatever, and it will be like sealed in like this plexiglass like cover or whatever. And I'm gonna make sure it's a little bit to the back, like this. Gonna increase the size just a little bit. Alright. And now that I can see my first chain is coming through, so okay, so I'm gonna create a new material and go to transparency, click on plexiglass, and then to reflectance, and I'm gonna add a reflection legacy and see if we can, what it will look like. Yeah, that's cool. But I want to change this. I don't like the I don't like this blend thing. So let's see what happens if we do this. Okay. I'm actually gonna go back into my old like Yu-Gi-Oh thing and see how I did it there. My voice is really fucked up, but I don't feel like going down and get some water midstream. Let's see. Right, so yeah, it's this material here. I feel like it's almost the same. It might be reacting different because of because the way like the 3D stuff works. So let's see. Oh wait, the chain's also like going through the skull now, which is a whole thing. Let's see. Okay, need to organize my 3D files better. Okay, so what happens if we preview this? Okay, I just want to make it move a bit more to the front so it's not too... Yeah, okay, so the reason why it's not why it's like kind of bluish is because of the sky. Like the sky object, as you can see, is blue now. So I might go and create a normal HDRI real quick. So I just find these HDRI presets online and just download them, and let's see if we can. So this is like a map of Shanghai, or I call it HDRI map. So this completely changes up the scene, but it might be cooler, I don't know. I feel like this looks a bit better, right? Oh, it's cool that you can kind of see like the skyline, but I'm not sure. Wait, let me blur that out a bit. No, that makes it better, worse. Let's see. If we go like this. Yeah, that's it's a bit too much. Let's see if we can grab another one. I have this other one of a quarry. It looks really good on like Chrome. Alright, this is better because now you can see that it's actually glass. Even though it's like, yeah, you can see, okay, this is cool. You can see that it's glass, but it doesn't like reflect the whole environment in it, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna push it back a little bit because it was, yeah. Let's see if we can see this from the right. And then from the front. Okay, I'm gonna go and turn off my chains for a second and turn off this grid for a second, because I want to make sure that my, yeah, this is what I thought, like, should be scaled up a bit better and a bit more to the right, and then, alright. So now this should be working. Yeah, cool. So another thing that I like to do, okay, I'm just gonna group this except for the sky, and then group all of the materials and everything together in artwork or toy box or whatever we want to call it. And then instead of doing a sky, I'm gonna take a sphere, make this sphere like incredibly big, like this. Just make sure that our whole work is within this sphere, which is true. And then I'm gonna go and give this texture of the HDRI to the sky instead of the thing. And the reason why I wanted to do this is I'm not sure if we can do this with the sky, but we can rotate the sphere now. And why I want to rotate this sphere, I'm gonna show you real quick. Just gonna make sure that this won't be seen by the camera. So if we're gonna make 240 frames, and I'm gonna rotate it 360 degrees, and I'm not sure if this works with actual yeah, okay, it works. So I'm gonna make sure this animation sphere rotating is not a Bezier curve like this. So now it's just a uniform twist. And let's see, because the chains were rotating, but I'm not sure. Gonna drag these here. Same goes for this chain. And make this a rotation, a double rotation, just so the chains will be rotating a bit faster. Alright, then the skull, we can make it hover around a bit. So on here, and now we're going to half the what's it called? Half the length of the animation, and go to copy the first position, paste it into the last frame. So now this is happening. And I'm gonna go turn this on. Not sure how this works, if a material can be glowing and reflective in this. Yeah, okay. Not sure if you can actually see that. I'm just experimenting here. But we're almost finished. Yeah, okay. Now we're gonna go and take our camera. I have no idea what I just did. I feel like this has happened to me before as well. Okay, anyway. So now that we have the artwork, I want to go and grab my camera and put it like this. Just gonna grab a smaller preset for now, this is fine. And now we're gonna rotate it. So like this. So now this is animating. Alright, so I'm gonna do a quick test render. A frame skip so we don't have to render like 240 frames. I'm not gonna do anything like super crazy with the render settings. Let's see what we did today, basically. Again, sorry guys for my extremely horrible voice right now. Next time I'm bringing a bigger water bottle to my stream. I actually really like the reflection of that light going on. If we had more time, I would probably like to do like a custom, what you call it? A custom like light setup, basically. So without any HDRI, sky maps or whatever. Okay, so that reflection in the sun's really intense. I'm not sure if I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna do something different here. So I'm gonna go inside here. Hello. Because that's like the sun which is in that. Yeah, I'm just gonna change the HRI, nothing too weird. See if we can have one that's like a bit normal. Let's see if we can do this. This doesn't have like this super bright sun in there, but it is really white. Let's see. I'm gonna just test this one out. I feel like it should be working. So yeah guys, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna render this final piece out on live stream because obviously it will be just me sitting here waiting for this render to finish. And I think there's really no reason for that. So on the YouTube edit, I'm just gonna show you the end result at the in the beginning of the stream. And for now I'm just gonna show you like the final result on this one, like the smaller one with the frame skip. But yeah, and yeah, once again I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out tonight. This was a bit odd for me because this was the first time that I actually had to design on the spot myself. Like this is not the first live stream that I did, but this is the first one where I didn't have no clue, like what I should do in this live stream. So it was really cool to like come up with some concepts, like on the go, basically. Yeah, if you guys are on the Discord server already, I highly suggest you go on there because we have a lot of great designers on there. You can ask them for feedback. There are some musicians. You can share your music with everyone if you make music. There's like this inspo chat. There's a networking chat, basically. Yeah, it's a ton of fun. And for Dreadlabs in the future, I have a lot of stuff coming up. Which I also share in the Discord a bit earlier than on Instagram. So if you're a member of the Discord, you can have some exclusive access to that. But yeah, basically, so some stuff that I have been planning, like for the future. Yeah, I'm currently like waiting on samples of the first like Dreadlabs clothing drop. Which will be some cool basically I've been working on making Dreadlabs clothing line. It will just be like a small drop of some tees and some hoodies. So currently waiting on those samples. For the rest, I'm also talking of a label. music label. I'm gonna release some music with musical artists that are interested in releasing on Dreadlabs, as well as some DJ live sets with some cool visuals, obviously, and yeah, we're just like behind the scenes. Me and the people that I work with on these things are just we're just making sure that we have a proper good quality before we wanted to go live with these things. So yeah, I don't want to jinx anything. If something doesn't work out the way we want it to, we're not gonna do it. So this is not me guaranteeing that there will be a Dreadlabs label in the near future. But yeah, these are some of the things that I like to work on and like to work with a lot of different people, and all belong to this vision that I had for Dreadlabs, basically. But yeah, at this point I'm kind of just rambling on because the render isn't doing super well in terms of speed. But yeah, we're almost halfway there. Let's see what we have so far. Yeah, and as you can already see here, that's why I like the sphere with the HDRI reflection to rotate. So the reflection also rotates with how'd you call it? So you can just see the reflection change a bit better, which is cool. That's also the effect that I really liked on this holographic cards. And I'm actually planning on giving the Discord gang a sneak peek of the merchandise once I get it. But due to COVID and everything, it's just taking a really long time for them to ship it to me. Yeah, so that's why I haven't been able to share it yet, because I don't want to share the mock-ups. I just wanted to share the actual garments. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions or tips for me on how to improve Dreadlabs, or things that you want to see more of, I don't know, giveaways, products, tutorials, videos, whatever, please let me know. I am actually also working on doing some more fashion related videos, because that's something that I am, yeah, I'm kind of big on fashion, as well as my girlfriend, and we like to do a lot of vintage shopping sprees. So it will be we were thinking of it would be cool if we would do videos on our vintage hauls, where we shop, what we shopped, and what we also like to do is do customized clothing. So just buy a bunch of vintage stuff and start editing it. Maybe in the future we will even start selling it on the web shop, but like I said, these are all plans for the future, and we're not sure if these will actually happen or not. Do you mean custom typing? Because I am actually I'm also not the best typeface designer out there, but I want to do some videos, maybe time-lapse based if they take way too long, on how to do custom typefaces. There is one that I did that I can show you right now, I guess. I worked on it actually for the Dreadlabs clothing line, so you guys can kind of see a sneak peek on the graphics for them. Let's see. But yeah, that's the actual first custom typing, or not the first one, but one of the first ones that I did. Let's see, where is it? Okay, so here it is. I don't know if you can properly see. But yeah, this one, the Dreadlabs text in my Adobe Illustrator. Oh wait, let me pull that up. I think you mean like the whole big graphic, or is it like this? Do you mean this file? Because I also have a lot of. Maybe you might mean this. I don't know. I'm not sure though. Let me know. I actually don't live in Amsterdam anymore. Or I used to live close to Amsterdam when I was working for Yellow Claw, but I would recommend going to Zipper, which is in the Negen Straatjes. I don't know if you're Dutch or not, but yeah, that's actually a cool vintage store. The prices are relatively on the higher side, but I find like most stuff that's there is pretty dope. And then you have like Episode, which is a bit lower in like the pricing, still kind of high, but they have some cool stuff. So okay, while we wait for the render to finish up, I'm just gonna show you how I did this text because it's quite easy to do. I did it 2 years ago, so I might not remember it completely, but let's see. Okay. Okay, let's say we have this font here, right? So what we're going to do first is create outlines. The Dreadlabs circle. That's also quite fun to make. I'll show you in a minute, because most of these are actually done in the effect thing in Illustrator. So I'll show you how to do this one first. So you make them into stroke first, and then I'm gonna go to effect, and let me see where it was. I think it was just transform, and then let's see. And if I add copies, yeah, you can kind of get these rotating things going on. Right, yeah. So if you would select this anchor and just go like this, but I think you can also like scale them up, yeah. So this will get some pretty interesting results. As well as if you go to effect and then roughen, you can kind of get this effect what's going on in here. Let me increase the, and I think, let me see an appearance here how I did this. Yeah, okay, and I just added an arc with effect warp. And then yeah, you can get like this horror typeface thing going on fairly quickly actually, which is kind of fun to do. We'll work in a lot of different situations, I think. Let me see. Oh, we're finished. Okay, so I'm gonna load this into After Effects real quick, and then we're gonna end the stream because 2 hours and 10 minutes is quite long. But we're also like kind of finished anyway, so it won't make sense of me continuing the stream tomorrow with only 10 minutes there, if you know what I mean. But yeah, if you actually like are just designing random stuff, I would recommend like going into one file and make the background black or whatever, and then pick like one color like I did with the neon green, and just make a whole bunch of graphics that you can find like inspired. If you can find them on Pinterest or something, make something and it's inspired by that. Just put them in this file, and then you have this one big file. And then if you're making a grid or whatever, you can just go and once you have to actually need one of these graphics, you can just pick them up, if you know what I mean. Like, you don't have to come up with all of your graphics on the spot this way. And it's kind of fun to work on as well. Like, I haven't worked on that file in 2 years, but yeah, like I said, it still comes in handy in situations like this. Oh shit, I didn't even save it yet. So I'm gonna save it up real quick. Alright, so now we're gonna import it. And animation might be a bit bumpy because we skipped like all of the, whatchamacallit, we skipped every other frame. I actually really like how this turned out. So I'm gonna render this out in like full quality and put it on Instagram, so people can see what we made today. Oh, and you can actually see the reflection in the text as well, which is really nice. Only thing that I would edit maybe is the rotation of the chains. It's still a bit too fast. I shouldn't have done the double rotation, and I might change the material there. Yeah, those are the only things. Anyway, yeah, this was today's live stream. This will go up on YouTube as soon as possible. I think somewhere next week, because we have still one video planned in the schedule. Yeah, I want to thank all of you for coming out, and I hope to see you in the next live stream. I had tons of fun. I hope you learned something, or at least feel inspired, and I hope to see you guys in the next video or in the next live stream. Thank you. Bye.